Happy Friday, everybody. Are you looking for the perfect Halloween home decor idea? Today, I'm going to show you how to make an adorable witch and black cat wall art using some transfers from Essential Stencil. I can never say that right. And making your own rustic wood frame. This is the kind of cute Halloween craft project you'll want to make right now. No potions required. Hey everybody, it's Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts. Happy Friday. I am super excited to be with you truly live this week. I'm a couple of minutes late because we got all kinds of things going on here at the house. I need to get my microphone just a little bit closer. Kind of want to make sure that YouTube shows me live. So let's go see if that's the case. Although sometimes it's weird. I can't see myself. I can't always see myself live. Okay. That I see myself live. So we're going to try and keep that up so I can see comments. Okay. Sorry. A little discombobulated this morning, but that's okay. So I am going to switch my camera view because, nope, that's not the one. That's the one. So you can see my workspace. I'm going to show you what I've been working on so far and then what we're going to do today. So this is from Essential Stencils Halloween 2025 line. These are actually two different transfers layered on top of each other. Flip it over on the other side and we've got a different one. So I worked on this yesterday. This is the Chalk Couture out of the box frame, which actually is no longer available, but I'm going to put a link in the video description for something that would work comparably. I like them because the insert pops out, makes it easier to work with. But once I got that insert done yesterday, I had painted this frame black, and I am really trying to master a crackle technique. Now, this did an okay job, to be honest. This is the black paint with some folk art sheepskin, then the crackle, and then the folk art chalk castle. Didn't quite crackle as much as I wanted. So we are going to repeat this on the other side. And while that's doing its thing and crackling, we are going to, hopefully crackling, we are going to make another sign using another box frame and some more stencils. Now I have two more of those box frames. I don't want to use them both because what I'm afraid of is that this won't crackle the way I want to, and I'm going to want to then just paint one black. And then I maybe add some sea spray or some salt wash or something to distress it. So we are using the folk art home decor crackle. Just trying to do a thin layer. Trying to hold it. If I can get it in light. You all can't really see even in the light. I don't think you can see that layer of crackle. And then we're going to let this dry on its own. We'll take a heat tool to it if I need to, but I'm going to set that aside. And then we're going to set it aside somewhere where it won't fall over. Then we're going to go to another project. So I have quite a few of these transfers from Essential Stencil, and in the video description is a link to their site, as well as a code that you can use for 10% off any order. So this one's really cute. Got all these little gnomes and the pumpkins. This one is called Fall Forest Gnomes. Put that one aside. This one I really like. I'd like to find something to do with this one. I don't know that I have a surface big enough, so I'll have to figure that out. Not that I couldn't make it into different pieces. There's actually 2 different designs in this package called Vintage Autumn Trucks. That there. But what I really want to use for this one, this next set of frames, are these little ghosts. I love this one so much. This one with the ghost with the butterfly. I like some of these just floral designs. There's got to be there's a second sheet in there. Look at the ghost with the hat. So we're going to look at this one. I'm also working with a new camera setup, which I'm afraid I'm going to hit, which I feel like maybe I just did. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. And then we've got these. Not quite my vibe. The pumpkins and stuff are not necessarily the skeletons. And then this is some of what from what I used yesterday. So I'm going to get this box frame out. And going to open up the package here. And I actually found my transfer tool, which I was excited about yesterday when I was working on these other ones. I couldn't find one. And I had to use my little paper studio tool. And then get that. I want to keep that. Okay, so we're going to look at these and decide which one. So this is one of them. Okay, so that's cute. So this will be 2-sided as well. So and love this one with the cat. Love this one with the haunted house. Really, really, really love that. This in the bathtub is adorable as well. And then, like I said, these 2 are super cute. This is the hard part, right? Deciding what you want to put on a project, because I could have a field day with these. Okay, so we're going to start at least with this one, because I know for sure that I want to do that one. So I have my scissors, and we're going to cut this. How is everybody? Today, let me know how you're doing. If you're catching this later after I'm done with the live, still let me know. Let me know that you were here. If you have any questions, anything like that, let me know. Appreciate your time. Let me know what you think about the project. Let me know what you think about the video. Any of that. Okay, so we have that. And I'm trying to decide if I want to add anything, because we've got like this little floral piece right there that might be cute. We've got 2 of those that might be cute to add down at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out just in case we decide we want to do that. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm wondering if I want to paint the surface. We'll have to see. I'll have to lay it on there and see what I think. So that the background isn't entirely white with that ghost on there. So I've got that there. Open this. I do really love these box frames. I like that you can drop those inserts out. And I know what my measurements are to make sure that I stay, inside the parameters, so to speak. Yeah, I feel like that needs some contrast on there. I mean, we do have this side, but I don't know why I don't like this solid brown side. I really like either the white or something painted a little bit better. I think that would really look cute if we add the flowers down at the bottom. So I'm going to paint this side because that way, if I decide that I want to do something different on the other, on the white, I haven't painted it, or unless I want to. So I have this tassel, which is actually that color right there, which I think would be a good contrasting color for this. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Some of my bigger paintbrushes are upstairs, still drying from yesterday. These little cap seals get soggy when you shake the paint up, and they don't hold up very well. We're going to use this brush. This should be fine. And try to do this quickly. I am going to dry it with my drying tool because, and I might actually use a little bit of my chalk surface wax. Yesterday, I painted this, and then I did have 2 layers of paint, to be honest. I painted this and then fussy painted it again, and then put the design on top of it, the cat and the pumpkin. And when I was pulling up the transfer, it was pulling up some of the paint. And I think part of that was because I maybe didn't let it dry completely. Gee, was I impatient? I can't imagine. Can't imagine that was the case. And so probably should have at least taken my drying tool to it. I thought about whether or not I should have used some of my chalk surface wax, but my fear is that I would not then get the transfer to adhere down on the paint, because that surface wax would create too much of a barrier for it to stick to. We may not try that, and we'll just try to make sure everything's good and dry. I'm wondering, and if you're watching, y'all let me know in the comments. Wondering if I want to do a contrasting color here. Kind of like I did here, where I've got something on top of this castle and then put the transfer on top of that. I'm feeling like an orangey kind of color, like what's in the flowers maybe. I'll have to look and see what I have. And I didn't bring any water down here this morning. I wasn't thinking I would do any painting other than what I was doing on the crackle. I should have known better than that. Okay, let's try this real quick. That's nice and dry. Where's my phone? All right. Okay, so let's see. Oftentimes I will look and see what things look like. Yeah, I kind of like that fussy paint look. Trying to think about what colors I have. Oh, I have this. I had this. So I have a little bit of this terracotta. I think I got this actually at a craft thrift store that we have here in town. Let's see what I have. I don't have any good. Shoot. Well, I could do it with my chippy brush. Let's see. That might actually work better in heat too. This is going to be super weird. You know, you kind of sometimes just go with what you have. I don't have another drip tray super handy. So we're just going to put a little bit of this on this paper towel. And I'm going to use my chippy brush, right? That's a little brighter than what I wanted, but it might actually turn out okay. Because it's going to fade into the brown a little bit once I dry it. And of course, I love my chippy brushes, but so oftentimes I will get bristles fall off of them into my project area. Okay. Let's dry this. And that faded as it dried, so it's not nearly as bright as it was. But we're going to set that aside for a second. I'm going to let that just kind of dry a little bit more before we do anything with the transfer. And we're going to come over here and dry my crackle medium. So I struggle with crackle. I actually posted this on Facebook yesterday as a question. What is one crafting technique that you cannot master no matter how many times you've tried? I'll go first, and it's crackle. And that is no lie. I have tried Dixie Belle, I have tried Elmer's Glue, I have tried Mod Podge, and I was recently kind of had this this folk art home decor crackle sort of demonstrated for me, and that this product does not require heat at all. Which is kind of what intrigues me about it. Now, the one thing I know that I don't do right, and here's the instructions. We'll read the instructions. Base coat surface with folk art home decor chalk, allow to dry fully. So this is just acrylic paint. This is home decor chalk though. Apply crackle medium evenly over surface, being careful not to overstroke. That's something that I don't do well. Try to do it all in one brush stroke. Allow to thoroughly dry. Apply coordinating top coat of folk art home decor chalk in one even coat, being careful not to overstroke. So that's the other thing that I don't do. Our tendency when we paint is to, kind of back and forth. And you're really not supposed to do that with crackle or with paint you put on top of it. So I'm using this wider brush. This is what I tried yesterday. I'm getting a decent amount of paint on it. And then I'm just going all the way down in one even stroke. Now I'm going to have to brush again here because I don't have any paint, but I'm trying not to go back over where I was before. Right? And then just try to smooth that out a little bit, which I probably shouldn't do. Now, as the paint dries, what's supposed to happen with this stuff is that it crackles immediately, and you can actually see it. It's already starting to crackle right there, right? So that in and of itself is better than I have ever gotten on any other attempt at to crackle on a project. And so, obviously if I can feel like I get to a good place with this particular medium, we'll go back and I'll try, the Dixie Belle and the Mod Podge and the Elmer's and stuff like that. Because this is good. I want better. Of course I do. You can try it with peaches. So we're going to do that because I want to see what it looks like. Slow and careful. I'm not going to get the heat gun too close to it because I also don't want to bubble my paint, which is what it will be. Yeah, see, it's already starting. It's already starting to bubble, the paint. So we're gonna, sorry, my phone keeps going off. So you can already see it's starting to bubble, the paint, which, you know, this is a Halloween project, so that's not big of a deal. But I mean, I'm getting some okay crackle there. I would like deeper. And I don't know if that's because of the surface. I don't know if I put too much paint, not enough, too much crackle, not enough. So we're just going to let the rest of that dry on its own so that I don't bubble up that paint. But we're getting about the same as what I got over there. And I think overall for the end result of what I'm working on, it's going to be fine. All right, so now we've got this. I need to get a pencil and my ruler. Here's my ruler. Here it is. Because I want to make some marks for myself for reference where I know the frame comes to on here. So it takes up about a half an inch, or I'm sorry, about a quarter of an inch on the insert. So we're just going to make some very light pencil marks that I can go back and erase if I need to. And then we'll also use some painter's tape. To give myself a line to follow when I am putting the transfer down. Try to put it on there kind of straight. Right there. Now, oftentimes I am not this picky, but this is something that I do want to take up to my vendor space. So I would like it to, you know, look as professional as possible. Okay, so that gives me some guardrails. And we're going to, I'm going to cut this down just a little bit more around the top of the ghost. So I have a bit more frame of reference for the whole piece and can kind of try to center it some top to bottom. So the top of her flower, about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's not bad. That's actually pretty okay. Which, of course, now I have to peel it off the backing sheet. And am I going to get it back where it was? No. Should have done that first. Problem is kind of once you set it down, you're not stuck, but it does make it hard to move. Okay. And then I don't want to do this yet, but I want to think about whether or not I want to add those little flowers in somewhere. So we'll get just the ghost on. and see what we think. So then you just take your little transfer tool. If you don't have one of these, you can use a credit card. If you have rub-ons that come with a rub-on tool, you can use that too. You're just going to go over all of the design. And you're just sort of helping that design adhere to your surface. And a lot of times you can tell the color will change. I did that little witch in my VIP group the other day, and I was telling them, if you've never done rub-ons before, I was afeared of rub-ons for a very long time. My friend Patty helped me get over that. So much so that in our old house, I actually did a wall rub-on in our son's room, and if I say so myself, it was perfect. But you can see the color change in this top layer as you have adhered the transfer down. The ghost gets a little more translucent. If it's black, it turns a little gray. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, there's like some edging around there. And then you're going to take a corner of your cover layer of your, whatever this is called, and you're just going to start to pull up really slow, because if you see that you are lifting up any part of the transfer itself, you can drop that back down and rework it. And then I like to kind of use my fingers, or you can use your transfer tool to kind of ease your protective layer up. Now that's interesting. I scratched into my paint a little bit, but we are probably going to put a little gator hide on top of her. They do recommend a essential stencil. I have to say that slowly. Does recommend a water-based sealer over the top of their transfers, just to help protect it over time. So we'll probably take some gator hide and go over this whole design, and that should kind of eliminate those sort of scratches in the paint. Okay, there she is. That came up really well. And I like how it looks on that terracotta paint. Okay, so that's that. And so then the next thing is to decide whether or not I want to add these little flowers, and if so, where. And I can layer them carefully so that they're kind of sitting on top of her. I feel like that might be a little much. I kind of feel like she doesn't need anything, but like she's just super cute all by herself. So I think I'm going to leave her alone for now and think about it. I'm going to take my painter's tape off and hold on to that because I may need that for the other side. I'm going to drop her into this frame so y'all can see what that looks like. And so I can see, because then I'm going to have to decide, do I want to paint the frame or not? And I actually, on this one, I don't think I do. I might try to, I'd like to distress it a little bit. So I'll have to think about that. And then we just think about what we put on the other side of her. So I kind of want to stay with the ghost thing, which is, again, kind of what I did here, right? We've got the little witch with the cat on one side and just the little cat on the other. Let's check in on, so here is our, so here we've gotten some more good crackle in there. This paint's still pretty wet. Don't want to dry it too much because it's bubbling. But we got a good crackle line in there. Okay, so we'll let that sit for a few more minutes. And then we decide which one we want to put on the other side. So we've got this one. I like this one. I like to do one that kind of takes up more of the entire space, which I think that one would. Now it might end up going into where the frame sits, but I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. So that one's really cute. That one's really cute. Let's see. And then what was my other one with the ghosts on it? Yeah, I think we're going to stick with this one. All right. So if you're on with me live, let me know what you think in the comments between the ghost with the witch's hat or the ghost and the haunted house. I'm going to go ahead and cut both out. And I'm going to cut the bat with this one. Get all my paints and paintbrushes out of the way. Actually, let me do something real quick because I have this glob of terracotta paint from earlier on this paper towel. And if I don't get it out of my way, I'm going to end up getting that everywhere. Okay. Got like 5 projects going right now. Not that other people can't relate to that, but I have all of the stuff on my desk because I've just been moving from project to project. Okay, so we're going to cut out this one. Maybe if I lay it out on the surface, it will help me decide. And then we're going to cut out this one, and we're going to cut out these little bitty bats, but we're going to leave the bigger ones where they are. Okay. Those are going to be cute. I'm envisioning cards for some of those other little ones that I have, or those other transfer designs that I have. I was telling my VIP group the other day that like I've got about a week of Halloween crafting still to do, and then I've got to move on to like Christmas. So both of these are a little bit bigger, and so we know that I have about 1/4 of an inch. Here before my frame starts to take up space, right? Which, speaking of, I need to see if I need to erase my pencil lines on the other side. So down here is where that frame's going to start to take up space, and right here is where that frame's going to start to take up space. And then let's give me something at the top here so I know. It's going to be right about there. Okay. So if I'm trying to keep, I can do this without laying it all the way down. If I'm trying to keep the hat inside the space, we're going to have to start right about here. If I want to keep the bat in, we're going to have to start right about here. And then a lot of those florals are going to end up getting cut off. If I remove the bat from the design and I'm not worried about that one, or I can reposition the bat, I can pull it off and do it differently, that whole thing would fit. Some of the flowers might get cut off a little bit, but not much. So that's one option. And then this one would fit entirely. This might get cut off a little bitty bit on this side. Which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. Now thinking about this as a two-sided piece, I think I like this one. Okay, so we're gonna just reposition this a little bit better on this backer sheet. And there we go. And we're gonna cut the bat off here. I'm going to use the bat, but we're going to reposition it so that it will fit in the frame. So we're going to cut it. And I'm not going to paint this side. Obviously, make sure I'm right side up here. Yep. I'm going to paint this one. Kind of use my knuckles. And if we come down here, if anything's going to get cut into the frame, I'd rather it be the flowers than the hat. Okay, head it over this way just a smidge. Yeah, I think we're good there. Okay. Take that tape off so it doesn't get in my way. And we're going to take my transfer tool. And rub over her. And like I mentioned earlier in the video description, there is a link to the Essential Stencil website. and a code you can use, GFC73, to get 10% off of any order, anytime. That link is an affiliate link. So you do, if you do shop from that link, I do get a small commission off of that. That's at no cost to you. It comes from the company itself, just for promoting and using their products. If you know somebody else who is an affiliate for Essential Stencil, please use their link when you shop. And they should probably have a code as well. Okay. And again, we go nice and slow. I feel like I need to maybe push down a little bit harder here. There we go. This is kind of like a chalk sure transfer reveal, even though you can see it more clearly because you don't have that paste covering your design. It's still a reveal, which is always my favorite part. And then, you know, like I said, sometimes I use this just to kind of help. If there's a place that it's kind of just sticking. Now, getting into these flowers right on these two edges will be a little bit tricky too, because sometimes those little skinny pieces that don't have anything else to hold on to are a little bit harder to get to adhere down. I like to kind of pull up on you sometimes, so you gotta go. I like that one right there. So you just go back over it. And that way, if you go slow, you don't run the risk of tearing it if something has pulled up and you're moving too fast. It could rip. If you are also looking for new ideas for creative projects, if you feel like you're stuck in a little bit of a creative rut, the Art of Handmade Summit starts next week. It's a free summit. It's 4 days, 36 plus workshops, including one from me. It's free. And there's some really, really, really cool projects coming into that summit. So I will drop a link for that in the video description. I'll also put it in the comments to make it a little bit easier to find. I'm really excited to be a part of this one. I do a variety of different bundles a year, little summits like these. I'm really excited about this one. There's just lots of cool, fun projects that people are sharing. And then I'm going to turn this around so I want to kind of meet myself in the middle, if that makes sense. Nice and slow. Sorry, this is probably like watching paint dry if you're watching live. Later I'll download this and edit all this and speed it up. Make it a little easier. Go over all these little bitty pieces along the edge here. It's where we run the most risk. Once you get past that, everything's kind of like all put together and layered on top of each other, so it should be a lot easier to pull up. Still gonna go kind of slow just in case. And there we go. There she is. Isn't she cute? Oh, these are just so cute. I love these designs so much. Okay, so now we're just gonna add the bat. I did take my tape off, so we're gonna put this back on real quick, just for my frame of reference, so that when I put the bat on there, okay, so we're gonna put her little bat friend. I could put the bat down there. No, we're gonna put the little bat friend right up here at her head. That should keep that well within the boundaries of where that frame is going to end up. And nice and slow. This is a little bit easier. No little skinny, teeny, tiny pieces to worry about. A little bit faster. Okay. So we're going to get this one. And we're going to drop that in the frame like that. And there she is. And I really do. I think that the frame just staying its natural color is going to be good. I wonder if I took a Tim Holtz Distress like crayon or something. I'll think about that. I don't want to mess it up. That's always my fear. Oh, I got something on there. Shoot. How did that happen? I got a little something on there. Wonder if I can get any of this paint off of this paper towel. Try to cover that a little bit. A little bit of something right there too. I need to clean my mat here. All right. It's in the frame. It's not going to hurt it. Okay, so that's that side of her. And there's that side of her. Okay, so that's that. Let's check on our crackle just a little bit. So see, this is dry and I got no crackle there at all whatsoever. Which tells me that I used too much paint. So I could probably take a my Gator sander just a little bit and get some of that off there. This was a much thinner layer of paint on this side. So we'll just keep going around on this one. Probably what I'll do is I'll just put a coat of sheepskin around the whole thing, let that dry, and then do the crackle on each side. Because I do think that this is kind of what it'll look like then. Which, maybe I'll just paint one of the other frames black. and just keep that one as my practice. We'll see. Anyway, okay. So that's it. Those are my essential stencil projects that I've been working on. Hey, Myrna, how are you? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm just sort of in love with these stencils. These were a restock that I got. They sold out and I didn't get them ordered in time, and they restocked, so I grabbed them because they're just adorable. And if I was working with a bigger surface, I could take one of my chalk couture transfers and, chalk a saying or something else, add a little chalk design on there too. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday. They are huge, but they're very cute. Yes, they are. They're rub-ons, come in big sheets. So I appreciate you all very much. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.